welcome back to After Christmas. I am your host, Chase. I am just getting over a cold, so my voice is not okay. As you know, I got an open sign, and I've got a sign here that, there it is, right there, the PlayStation sign. My sweet wife got for me, so I'm very thankful for that. And I have a box light now, so now you can see my face in 4K. Just kidding, it's in 1080p. And we have a motherboard here that we're gonna fix for my sister and my brother-in-law. Let's fix it. All right, so taking a look at this circuit board, I noticed that this relay that is on the other side of the board, it looks like a relay anyway, has a connection that has just exploded. Now, apparently this is a very common issue with this particular dryer motherboard unit. So I don't know if it's just because the trace that is used is not thick enough, even though it is a thick boy here. Yeah, I'm thinking what we could do is maybe run, because instead of just running solder right over to it, because it's probably just going to heat up and melt again. You know, I don't know 100%, but I'm thinking maybe we just run like some solder braid from here on over to over here, just so it's just a nice, giant, very thick connection between the two. All right, so I'm gonna kick on the fume extractor, put a little bit of flux right there. Gosh, guys, I am so happy to be back and making a soldering video. I feel like I haven't made a soldering video in about 100 years. All right, so we gotta get solder to stick to this guy first. All right, there we go. That works for me. What I will probably do is run over here to this side and put some flux down here. We'll go ahead and just flow some solder right to that joint there. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough. Clean off my iron so it looks nice again. All right, so what we need to do is probably flow this here right up to there. We don't need it to suck up solder. We just need it. We're gonna have to add a pretty hefty amount of solder to this joint. So we have a ton of solder on the joint plus a ton of solder on the braid, and we can just be one happy giant camper, you know what I mean? There we go. All right, now we want to run it right up to our guy right here. Want to make this job very, very quick and simple. We're just going to add a bunch of solder right here. Okay, I'm going to take my cutters and just cut the wick a little bit short here. That way we have a nice area where we can kind of round this off here. That's kind of what I want, you know, just wrap it around this pin here, you know what I mean? I just figured like this would be a better solution, but you know, it really doesn't matter. You can approach this from any situation. You could just, I mean, you could cut back some of the trace, the solder mask, and then just jump with a solder blob. I'm sure that would work just fine, but to be honest, I just like running a giant ground strap, you know what I mean? Or a tiny ground strap, I guess, if you will. But it obviously broke for some reason, and, you know, I don't know why. I'm not 100% sure. There could be a part in the dryer that's going. I don't necessarily think it's the relay that's going, especially if it's clicking and then, you know, it goes to start up, and then this is what happens, it explodes. So something is probably causing that to explode, or caused the this trace here to explode. But anyway, that's no problem. Oh, and if you like my soldering, smash that like button for me. Now, we could remask this. To be honest, we don't need to remask it, like put solder mask on top of this. We really don't. It's pretty secure in there. You know what? Forget it. We're putting solder mask down. I think, you know what? If we put a little bit of solder mask down, you know, if this were to get hot again, it will hold it in place. Rather than maybe this whole thing will slide over to this connection and something else will explode and then make it worse. So maybe it is a good idea to put some solder mask down. Okay, so I just want to put a little bit of solder mask like that. I mean, I guess we could kind of coat it, you know. Make it a part of the board again, you know. Alright, we'll do just that. That's probably fine. Perfect. I am going to grab the UV light and we'll go ahead and get this thing cured up, and then it should be good to go. So, I'm not kidding. I literally did an entire segment and talked while this solder mask was curing under the machine. And yeah, so I don't have that footage because I didn't hit record. Bruh. But whatever, the solder mask is cured and we are good to go. So here's the motherboard after it's done. It's right here where I did the work. So hopefully this works for them. I probably won't be able to give an update on it. Maybe I'll throw an update on the community section on YouTube. So if you watch this video, just watch the community section. I'll probably leave an update or something about if it worked or not. I wanted to mention, this is the machine that I am using as a solder mask cure. I mean, I really could just use one of those black light pens. I had one for a bit, and it would just go through batteries so much, and I was just like, well, I just really want something that plugs in the wall. My sister gave me this. It's a machine where you know, you put your hand in if you want nail polish or whatever. My sister does, she's a cosmetologist. So it cures the nail polish. Well, it had a base on it and I couldn't fit larger boards in there. So I took the base off and then rerouted the motherboard and then just had it to where it plugs right in. Because it did have like a DC barrel jack plug. But now you just set it on top of the motherboard and it just works. So if you like this video and want to see more like it, subscribe.